and good Wednesday morning. It is July 10th. Thanks for joining us for our KHOU 11 News morning update. The way this works, we're just going to have a conversation about some of the big stories that are out there, what you're sharing on our Facebook page, what you're clicking on KHOU.com. And right now, weather really seems to be everyone's biggest concern, ours as well. So I want to actually show you a live look at Bourbon Street in New Orleans. So the same storm that we've been watching, the one that moved from inland into the Gulf, it is now pounding New Orleans with rain. They are seeing flash flood warnings, street flooding. As you can see there are some folks hiking through what looks to be water about a foot deep along Bourbon Street. There are tornado warnings in Orleans and Jefferson parishes. And this is all, as I mentioned, what we've been watching, what Chita has been tracking, what our entire weather team is looking at, because this is what Chita, the National Hurricane Center, says could develop into a tropical system.
Goodness, Brandi, I know. Well, right now, New Orleans under that flash flood warning and also a tornado warning. So you saw the live image out of the French Quarters there. This is really, I hate to say it, only the beginning. We're going to see rounds of very heavy rain move along the Gulf Coast here, and that includes, of course, the Louisiana coastline over the next 4 days. So today, tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday, we will be looking at potentially some devastating and some critical rain here across the area. Okay, take a look here. Very disorganized system. This is our Invest 92L, a tropical wave. So all of this deep tropical moisture here, again, going to continue to increase. And from the Florida Panhandle, you can see right off the coastline there through New Orleans this morning, continuing to be problematic. Let's take a look at our radar here locally. We're dry, about a 20% chance for an afternoon shower to an isolated thunderstorm. Let's get back to that Invest 92L. At this point, models all unanimous that we are expecting a westerly path over about the next 36 hours. So I'm taking you though from tomorrow through Saturday. So I want you to see the path that we're expecting this to take. So here's our Invest. This is moving westerly. Notice how tight all the spaghetti plots are here through Saturday morning, 7 o'clock. Now what's interesting is, as I continue to advance this is showing different model data here. This is Sunday morning just before 6 a.m. So now we're looking at potential landfall from what will be tropical depression, tropical storm Barry, or even Hurricane Barry. So this is, again, just before 6 a.m. Sunday morning, potential landfall. And notice where most models are wanting to show towards the Louisiana border there. What the difference is going to be is with the shift going either west or east. So if we're talking about impacts and potential landfall right along the Texas-Louisiana border, obviously we're going to see a lot higher rainfall totals than what we would see if the potential landfall is along the eastern fringe there of Louisiana. So big difference. There's a big split as far exactly and how we can pinpoint the exact location here. As I continue the model run, this is Monday, right around your lunchtime hour. Notice then how models, of course, continue to break apart. So the point of this is the further along we go, model data continues to have some discrepancies. So over the next 2 or 3 days, we know that this is going to sit in the open waters of the Gulf. Water temperatures around 88, 89 degrees, well warm enough to support some development. Also, wind shear is extremely low. That's also going to make development a little bit easier here. So atmospheric conditions are very conducive for tropical depression or tropical storm Barry as early as this afternoon, or we could even see that start to happen tomorrow. Again, a 90% chance of that happening at this point from the National Hurricane Center. That's why it's likely today. Our hurricane Recon planes. So the hurricane hunters will fly their plane inside Invest 92L or inside that tropical wave, and they're going to gather a bunch of data. That data will be sent from dropsondes out of the plane. So immediately we will gather that information. And once we know the pressure, the winds, and also if there's a closed low circulation at the surface, then we'll also be able to see if we have a depression or a storm on our hands. With that being said, after they gather that information, the new track will pop in this afternoon, and that's really going to help us out a lot. So I do think our meteorologist Erica Lopez or our chief meteorologist David Paul, they will have the latest for you beginning this afternoon. Again, broad area here of tropical moisture. This is going to continue to be fairly disorganized until we get that data back from the Recon planes. What I have drawn in for you, so this is me here showing the two different paths that more than likely this will take, either again towards the Texas-Louisiana coastline just to our west, or that eastern fringe of New Orleans and mainly impacting portions of the Louisiana and Mississippi coastline. That will have an extreme difference on even the rain chances and percentages and how much rain we're going to see as we trend towards Saturday and Sunday. So expect that to change as we continue over the next 2 days. Today, we keep it hot, we keep it muggy. Temperatures this afternoon top out around 97. We will be feeling closer with our heat indices up to about 106. So really hot, really humid. Even by your lunchtime hour, we'll be in the mid to low 90s. So just a really hot day in Houston. 97 today. Notice the rain chances. So again, these will be the days from Friday through Sunday. These are the days that may change. The scattered showers to thunderstorms expected tomorrow afternoon, they'll all be out of that tropical moisture that's moving in around that invest at this point. But it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You may see an uptick in the rain percentages and the amounts that we could see, or you could also see a significant drop if this really tends to be on the eastern side of Louisiana and maybe even into the Mississippi border. We'll have to wait. Again, time will tell. The Recon planes will gather that information. And of course, as soon as we get anything, we will let you know at home. Brandi, it's really a great time to download our KHOU 11 app, turn the notifications on, and then we will send you, again, any information right on your phone, anywhere you are, any information that we receive.
All right, thank you, Chita. Again, we're going to be watching this over the coming days. I want to encourage you to sign up for our KHOU 11 News app. You can set the alerts for what you want notifications about. So you don't have to get every headline, every breaker, anything like that. If you just want weather alerts in a situation like this, you can go in, you can toggle it on, toggle it off when hurricane season is over. Totally up to you. We offer a lot of advice and tips in our KHOU 11 severe weather guide, which you can also find on khou.com. But we put out the call to native Houstonians, for longtime Houstonians, asking what you would tell folks about dealing with a hurricane, with a weather emergency. And we got some actually really thoughtful responses. There were some snarky ones in there as well. There always are. But I wanted to share a couple that I thought were really good. One of them comes from Billy, who says he's lived here all his life. It says, go to the store a week in advance, keep supplies on hand all the time, and if you can afford it, get a generator. Lights can be out for weeks at a time. So that's Billy's advice. We also saw a lot related to your car. You know, like keep a jacket and umbrella in your car at all times. Maybe pack a bag of all seasons clothes. Keep that in your trunk. I know as a reporter, I have that. I call it my go bag. It's loaded with lots of breathable clothes and overnight toiletries and stuff like that in case I have to go out covering the severe weather. Lara Yasmin says, if you have an older GPS system, now's the time to update it. But I also really like this advice about freezing water in jugs or Ziploc bags. Those can help the fridge cold if the power goes out. And we cannot emphasize this enough. You hear us say it all the time. People still don't listen, so we're going to keep saying it. Turn around, don't drown. Some folks mentioned where to live. They said you got to live on a hill, you got to live in the outskirts because the city itself, just too much concrete, not enough drainage. But Joelle says you really should check with your realtor before you buy and look at the history of the property. Get flood insurance, but I want to remind you that even if you get it today, it doesn't kick in for another 30 days. We have an article on that on khou.com if you want to pop over there. And this is so important to emphasize because we have learned this lesson 3 times, well, more than 3 times, but at least in the past 3 years. Just because it hasn't flooded yet doesn't mean there won't be a first time. So many areas around here saw that, once in 500-year flood happen 2 and 3, sometimes 3 times in the past 3 years. So that's something to be really cognizant of. Also want to get your phone ready for severe weather. So the first thing, and I know I plugged this yesterday, go sign up for, keep that going, Chloe. Okay, there we go. Sign up for those Harris County rainfall and stream level alerts. So it takes all of 3 minutes. You get personalized notifications if and when conditions get dangerous in your area. So bayous in your area, rainfall rates, all of that, good to go. Number 2, If you haven't already, I'm going to plug it again. Download the KHOU 11 News app. And these are those notifications I was telling you about. You can toggle them on and off. So if you just want to hear weather, you got weather updates. And finally, a lot of folks heard about Zello during Hurricane Harvey. This is kind of a walkie-talkie app for your phone, and you can set it to go to multiple family members, for example. So it's a one-touch. You can communicate with your friends and family, let them know you're okay, let them know if you need help. Developed in Austin, it turns out. Also a reminder to keep your phone charged. It's no good to you if it's not. You can turn down the brightness on your phone, also turn your phone into airplane mode when you're not using it, turn off Bluetooth, things like that, so you're not draining the battery. Keep as much power as you can. Now, I know a lot of you are tuning in because you got that push that we were covering the tornado warnings and the situation in New Orleans. We're going to move on to other stories now because this is part of our normally scheduled news update that we do here on all of our digital platforms. So I do want to encourage anyone who has any questions or comments to go ahead and leave those in the comment section here. We'll try to circle back and get to those. But in the meantime, we're going to be moving on to some of the other headlines that you guys are talking about and clicking on, and it's going to start with a smash and grab in Highland Village that happened overnight. About 4:15, 5 guys in a pickup truck ran it into that Apple store. They even split a concrete barrier that was put there to specifically prevent this. They didn't get away with much, though. There was a deputy in the store. Investigators think maybe the suspects didn't know about him. So when they saw him, they took off. They grabbed a handful of things. Right now, investigators say it looks like the glass they damaged might be worth more than what they actually snatched. That store set to close later this month, though, for renovation. So maybe they'll get an early start on that. No word on if the investigators have any leads at this point. And there's a interesting. We're gonna go with interesting story. If you want to show you a sheriff's office post, not locally, still thoroughly entertaining. So this is from Clay County, Missouri. The sheriff's office there put out a little advice for anyone who maybe has a warrant out for their arrest. If the police are looking for you, this is the caption. I'm gonna read the caption. If you've got a felony warrant for your arrest, the cops are looking for you, and you pass gas so loud it gives up your hiding spot. Yep. That's how sheriff's deputies caught this guy in Clay County. They were able to sniff him out, I guess you could say. They added that he was having a poo emoji day. Definitely sounds like that. The guy, by the way, was wanted for possession of a controlled substance. So that one's just kind of a funny one. And then finally, I want to talk to you about a Houston doctor who was asked to get off an American Airlines flight because the crew said she was too distracting. Well, what was too distracting? Her romper. So they asked her to get off the plane. They did refund her travel costs, and now the airline's apologizing. This is Dr. Tisha Rowe. She says, quote, "When defending my outfit, I was threatened with not getting back on the flight unless I walked down the aisle wrapped in a blanket." So the discussion over this seems to be what's acceptable on a flight that didn't look distracting to me, that looks like someone who's coming back from vacation and who had an awesome time and looks comfy. We see people in, basically pajamas, yoga pants, but a lot of folks, folks who flew back in the day, maybe a couple decades ago, you guys remember what it was like then when it was like an event to go on a plane. You dressed up, you decked out, you were also fed really nice meals. My, how times have changed. Maybe we've adapted. That's our response. Airlines stopped feeding us nice food, so we thought, we'll stop dressing nice. So what do you think? Should there be like a dress code for flights? Because some seem to enforce indiscriminately. Like there's really no rhyme or reason sometimes to these stories that we hear. But so those are the stories that you guys are clicking on. We have lots of other headlines on KHOU.com, of course, but now I'm going to circle back to your comments and questions, see what y'all are chatting about. I know I saw So many folks who said good morning. A lot of people are saying no sound. Has my mic been off this whole time?
No, your mic is on.
Okay.
You are good.
Chloe's manning the ship over here, or piloting the ship. So it lost sound when she was going through the red list. Maybe Cheetah's mic went out? Well, sorry about that. Hopefully it's back on now and we're good to go. Oh, interesting. May have been an app issue. A lot of you are saying pop out of the app and pop back in. I love that you guys are jumping to help each other. Yeah. It's a good little community we have here. I appreciate you guys. Oh, Jody says, as far as advice for new Houstonians, getting a few bottles of whiskey is a great to pass the time when the lights are out. I did see one person who said, stock up. Every time you go to the grocery store, get those supplies that you need if you've worked through them, you know, over the last couple of weeks. That way, when everyone else makes that mad dash to H-E-B, you can go to Specs. Like the way that guy's thinking. Thailand says, we don't flood in our area, but our electricity goes out easily. Yeah. LaShawn flooded in Baton Rouge in 2016. She had never flooded before, and she was up on a hill. Yeah, just best to be safe. And this is something we're watching. We don't have a lot of firm answers right now. We're letting you guys know ahead of time so you can go out and make those preps. You can get all the supplies you need. You can formulate a plan. This is really the first time we're talking about it this hurricane season, even though we're about a month and a half in. But we do have a long way to go. So it's kind of a dry run for all that. So hopefully we don't have to worry about it. Hopefully it bypasses us or breaks apart or something like that. But always best to be prepared, I think. And someone's asking where this is at. We're in Houston. We did show you a video from New Orleans, though. Bourbon Street flooded. Actually, Chloe, can we pull that back up? Because you can see just how much water is on the streets there. Just a deluge. And this is all part of that system that Cheetah was talking about earlier. Oh my goodness. Yeah, there's a trash can just floating on down.
That's from our sister station, WWL.
I don't know if you could hear Chloe. WWL is our sister station in New Orleans. You can go over to their website as well, wwltv.com, and they have a lot of updates. We're expected to hear from Harris County Emergency Management here in about the next hour, and then at 11 we're going to hear from Governor Abbott about the potential impact this could have on our area. But we won't have a really firm idea until it forms up. National Hurricane Center says that's going to happen 90% chance in the next 48 hours. But later this afternoon, we should have a much clearer idea of what this is looking like, where it could go. I was going to say all that good fun stuff, but that's not all that good or fun. All right, looking at other comments and questions. LaShawn reacting to Dr. Trisha Rose romper. She said there's nothing wrong with her clothing. I agree. I don't understand that one. Not the comment, the issue that American Airlines had with her romper. I think she looked comfy. Yeah, LaShawn says no dress code when I'm traveling. I want to be comfortable. Amen. Yoga pants are kind of my travel uniform. Yoga pants and a sweatshirt because I'm normally traveling somewhere colder. But that's really everywhere, right? Everywhere is colder than Houston. Okay, I think I'm going to wrap it up. I will go back through and respond to your comments as I can see them. Facebook's not really great about updating it as they come in. So for those of you who stayed with us through our sound issues or whatever was causing this, hopefully we can figure that out. Thank you so much. We'll have another update coming up this afternoon at 2:15. And we will continue to update you here on our digital platforms, on KHOU.com, and on air when it comes to our Gulf Watch. Also, you should tune in to KHOU 11 News at noon, because I'm anchoring today. So I'll see you in a couple hours. Have a good day.